will watch this. Listen to the melody of your destruction. Let no joyful voice be heard. Let no man look up at the sky with hope. And let this day be cursed by we who ready to wake. The Krackin!
Release the Krackin!
Hey, look, it's the Krackin!
Hey guys, welcome back to Krackin Reviews. It's me, Dex.
And Jax.
Hope you're all having a good evening tonight. We're going to be reviewing Jupiter's Legacy. This show just came out on Netflix.
It is
within the last week.
Yeah. It is by far one of the best pieces of storytelling in terms of superhero. But it's based off of an Image comic book series by Mark Miller and Frank Quietly,
yes.
Elena Camporis. Anyways, good cast overall. Really good show in terms of Netflix shows. The quality is definitely up there. It's a superhero show, definitely having a very classic superhero inspired.
It's kind of got it all, honestly.
Yeah.
It's got everything. It's got family drama. It's got relatable situations. It's got what else? Superheroes, tights.
Yeah,
all those cool stuff.
It's this constant story going on. Trying to present this idea of the moral gray areas of the
being
world.
A superhero. Not just being a superhero, but the world too. Everything is it starts the show starts technically in the 1930s, and then it kind of shows you the evolution of not just the superheroes but mankind itself from that point to now.
Well, I don't want to say it starts off this in terms of
timelines. Not time. Yeah, I wasn't saying chronologically. It doesn't start off like that. I was saying what they grew up on back in the 1930s to what we're growing up with now in 2020.
Yeah, but it all centers around this world of superheroes. But it's it's our world. But if suddenly back in the 1930s, but basically about the time in which superheroes actually started coming into pop culture.
I was gonna say Superman came out 19.
Not sure off the top of my head. 50s, it was definitely around that time.
It was the 50s.
It was before. Was it 50s?
Yeah, it was the 50s. It was right around the same time as World War II. 1930s was right before.
Well, that would be
Great Depression era.
That'd be 1940, 1941, 1942.
Okay, so 40s, 40s and 50s then.
Yeah.
Okay, so right around. So we're talking within the decade or so of superheroes and stuff. It even has that classic scene. They did recreate the scene of the Superman holding the old school Duesenberg.
Yeah, holding taxi, that car up over his head
and stuff, saving kids. They reenacted that scene.
They did a lot of old There's definitely a lot of nods to Superman and a lot of different superheroes like Flash and whatnot. But it definitely stands on its own. It especially when you realize that these people used to be normal. It's not like Superman who
showed up on Earth with powers.
Yeah, he's been Superman all his life.
And it's actually really awesome how they explain how they got their powers too.
It's very if anybody who's ever a fan of the Arrow series, you might like the way that they
it's just like Arrow 2.0.
Arrow 2.0, yeah, definitely. And the series does the same thing that they did. They go back and forth from present time to the past, and show what these characters went through, how the character development seeps through from one time to the other, and you realize who they were reflects on who they are at that time.
like
who they
there's
became
one
once they became these superheroes.
one thing I noticed they kept saying was besides like the code, they kept talking about their code. They also kept saying the old ways and
Yes.
stuff like that, and kind of like understand like what they were getting at with that.
Well, it's like the way that they present. Like, I mean, they may not call. He may not ever call it like he has a code, but Superman does kind of have this code.
Yeah,
Where he doesn't really kill anybody because like it's be so easy to kill. He's always holding back.
yeah,
And it definitely presents this idea that the main guy, Utopian,
Utopia or Utopian or something like that.
yeah. He has this very black and white point of view of the world, and it shows through in throughout the stories, like how even in the past he kind of looked at it that way.
Yeah,
He's like, you do.
well, his world was presented to him that way too. Like his dad, like it does go into like details about how his dad sort of basically gave the world to him on a platter, and his brother had to work hard.
Well, his dad always like lied to him and presented himself as like this morally good person, and he may have started off that way, but you end up finding out that he actually did.
Well, like if you examine why he did it, though, like he examined it to expand.
Yeah, he did it for good reasons.
He did it for good reasons. Like he was still a good man at heart, but he did it like what he did. He didn't expect for the stock market to crash, for one.
Yeah,
like the Great Depression and all that for happening. He didn't expect that.
Yeah.
But it was a gamble he shouldn't have done because it wasn't his money. It was the pensions of all of his workers and stuff. And expanding his factory, yes, to create more jobs is at its very base a very honorable thing. But
the how you did,
how he went about doing it was not a good idea.
Yeah, and his son tried to tell him that, and like you see the character development in that particular son, not the main character's son. I can't remember his name.
So I was gonna say they're brothers. There's Sheldon, and then there's Walter.
Walter was his brother. Yeah, he was the superhero character, Brainwave. He had like telepathic powers and things like that. Yeah, he was very smart he was a very smart businessman. He crunched all the numbers and he realized it's too early. We can't expand. We don't have enough money. And basically he was the good person and taking in consideration the pension. Yeah. Realized that we can't expand because basically father was like, no, we're expanding.
Yeah. The concerns from the older brother fell upon deaf ears, basically, is what happened.
But it goes back and forth between these stories.
I was gonna say, but at the same time, like he blames the younger brother for that because he backed his dad up.
Yeah,
but doesn't realize again that his dad was lying to him about where all the funds and shit was coming from, because. Like they introduced the reporter that did the story about his dad and that found out all the information.
Which ends up being his wife later on in the future.
Yeah.
It's like, because it's going back and forth between these stories, it's like you get introduced to all these characters, all these like superheroes and stuff, and you end up having to ask yourself, how did these guys get their powers?
Yeah.
And who are they and how they, because in the past, he's not with his wife in the future. Yeah. He's with this redheaded woman, and they act like they're in love, and you're all like, okay,
they're actually getting married. When you first introduced to her, there are the engagement plans and all this other stuff is going on. Yeah, it's definitely definitely Arrow 2.0 is what I definitely
one of
wanna
those,
call that.
but it's one of those stories that just pulls you in, like Shadow and Bone. It just pulls you in. You just want to keep watching.
Yeah, you just want to binge the
keep
crap
watching.
out of it.
You're all like, oh, like the sister and the brother, because it opens on the sister and the brother when they're just kids. They're just like I want to say 7, 8. I want to say maybe.
Yeah, I mean no older than my stepson.
Yeah. And it's basically Utopia giving his children like life lessons and stuff like that. And then it goes right into the story from there.
The daughter definitely took a crazy turn.
Yeah.
Like this is what I mean. Like this is what I meant by like relatable situations. Is you got the son that's definitely following in he's the prodigal son. He is following in dad's footsteps.
Yeah.
1 foot at a time.
He is Superboy all the way.
Yeah, he is Superboy all the way. Well, no, because throughout the show he is struggling. And you can tell he's struggling.
Well, I mean, what I mean is like he's Superboy is and like he wants to be Superman.
Yeah, he wants to be the next Superman. Yeah. But then you got the daughter that is giving it the big old middle finger.
Yeah, she's like, I didn't want this.
Yeah, I didn't want the powers. I didn't want the fame. I didn't want any, I didn't ask for any of this bullshit.
She basically she reminded me of you remember Forrest Gump. Sorry. Reminds me of
wasn't
the girl.
Tom Cruise. That was Tom Hanks.
Did I say Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom Hanks.
That was Tom Hanks.
I thought I said Tom Hanks.
He wasn't like slightly mentally retarded. He was like just
slow, whatever. But the point is the point wasn't him. It was sorry. The point is the girl that he grew up with.
Jenny.
Yeah, Jenny. It reminds me of her down spiral.
Like when she was like, she
went off and did drugs. She did all kinds of.
She ended up like getting AIDS and stuff like that. Yeah, no, not that far, but definitely, yeah.
It reminded me of
definitely,
that.
Yeah, she's got definitely a substance abuse problem. She definitely has a alcohol problem.
Yeah.
What's crazy is that she's like a model and she has this like actual career and she has like the stereotypic.
She literally has shit handed to her.
Yeah.
But like she screws everything up because she's always angry. Like she has this constant anger towards whatever. She's just fuck the world.
She's pissed off because, well, one, it's like that whole like daddy didn't hug me enough sort of situation.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because like you said in the very beginning, shows him giving life lessons. And he's like, let's all go get some ice cream.
And then he flies away.
And he's like, oh, there's some sirens in the distance. I got to go. Peace out, dog. Then, dips out on his kids. And they're like, well, what about fucking ice cream, you dick?
Yeah, what happened to the ice cream? You got to be all excited for nothing.
Like, fuck.
Ask your mom. There's probably some in the freezer at home.
Yeah, so she gets, like, super resentment about that. And I can understand that. I can definitely understand,
to a certain degree.
Well, like, again, it wasn't their decision to have kids. It wasn't the kids' decision to have kids. It was their decision. It was the grown-ups. They need to be a part of their life. I understand that the world needs to be saved, but,
it's funny
there was like 150 years where you guys weren't around and the world was still moving by the time you guys came around. So
yeah. I was going to say, it's funny because they did a very similar storyline in the Superman and Lois show.
Oh, did they? Yeah.
Superman, he's still being Superman, but he's trying to raise a family. And,
dealing with those
kids
struggles.
Kids are still, getting all pissed off. Dad's not around enough. What the hell? It's a thing that like everybody, like normal people deal with that.
That's what I mean by like a relatable situation. Because even though he's a super parent and all that, real parents deal with that. Like I deal with that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm at work 8 hours to 10 hours out of the day, and then I come home and I'm like super exhausted, but all my daughter wants to do is go play ball or something like that. It's like, I can relate to that. Like,
I can understand.
It sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks because it's just the way the world works.
Yeah, and the show pulls you in like that. It makes you feel those things that you felt when you were a kid. When you were growing up. Like I can understand why. But it does it in such a way that we're dealing with superheroes.
Yeah.
We're dealing with superheroes.
It just so happens we're dealing with a super family instead of just a normal family.
Yeah. But you constantly going back and forth, and there's all these characters that are there, but in the past, but they're not there in the future, and you're all like, "What happened? What's going on? Where's this dude or where's that dude?"
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about them. Mainly the quote, like the portrayed villain of the show, which is
Sky Fox.
Sky Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
is like the main character's best friend back in the past.
Yeah.
This guy who's like he seemed to be born into wealth.
The best way to put him is if you've ever seen Arrow, he is the Tommy Merlin to Oliver Queen.
Yeah,
that is exactly the vibe you get from the two characters here, Sheldon and.
He is his best friend, ready, be by his side.
Yeah, ready to just take on the world with him. Has his back to the end, and you could see the brother even gets jealous of this bond that they have.
Yeah, friendship that they have.
But
he's like the very smug. Because I'm rich, I'm I gotta have what was that? 100 different eggs,
100
different
boiled
ways.
eggs. Yeah,
I was like, wow, you were
eccentric.
You love your money, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird because you think that he'd be like this character, or as soon as he starts losing his wealth, he's like, fuck this, fuck you guys, fuck the world. But he's like this.
Yeah, he just gets more humble about it.
Yeah, he's like, no,
but then
it's cool. I got this. The world is sunshine, is fucking flowers here, dude.
Isn't that what he says too?
Something like that. I can't remember.
Chin up and sunshine or some shit like that, and flowers.
He has that.
He has the most humble, chipper attitude,
right?
But then you find out everything that's happened to him. Both his parents died when he was a young kid. The closest thing he's had to a father is the butler.
Yeah.
Again, he's got the Batman-esque storyline going on right there, but decided that he was just gonna be eccentric with his money instead of go fight crime at night.
He's like, things are always good.
He's like, you know what? I would rather have 100 boiled eggs in the morning.
Yeah. In different ways, you can, different temperatures, different whatever.
There's 100 different ways.
Yeah,
the way that they were eating. He's like, I think I'll have a number 12.
Yeah,
number. It's like, oh, okay. Are you ordering from Burger King?
Right. Pretty much.
I'll take a Whopper with cheese.
No, but I love that about that character, dude. He's definitely made me interested. I was like, okay. He's like the Jasper character. He's like, he makes me be interested.
He pulls you further into this. Yeah, he definitely pulls you further into the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
It definitely makes the show more interesting.
And
then the other thing is how they introduced one of the characters right towards the end. The dude that just gets washed up on the boat.
Oh yeah.
They find as they're heading to that creepy island, as they're heading to Lian Yu 2.0.
Yeah. Well, they have him in the future, isn't he?
Well, yeah, he is. He's the weird dude with the mustache and shit that's always hitting on the dude's wife.
Yeah, and he can kind of do the magic. It seems like magic.
I think that's him. I'm not quite sure because
I wanted to say that too.
Well, the rest of them are old-ish.
Yeah, it's very hard. It was very hard for me at first, upon first glance, especially with his brother, because I was like, wait. It was one of those double take moments.
Mm-hmm.
That's his brother.
Yeah,
okay.
that's his brother.
Yeah,
yeah, because again,
he doesn't look like him.
Yeah, the aging is dramatic.
Yeah,
at that point,
the way he looks when he's young versus the way he looks when he's old. I don't know if it's a different actor or if it's just
no. As far as I know, it's the same dude.
Same actor.
Ben Daniels plays Walter Sampson, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's the same dude.
Actor.
They just do a lot of makeup and whatnot.
Interesting. But yeah, he the way that they did the makeup or something, he doesn't quite look like the same person.
Yeah,
So it confused me at first.
Well, it's because like in the past he has that weird French like mustache thing going on.
Yeah, and then in the present he has a full beard.
He has like the full yeah, he has the what is that? The full Manchu thing going on where he's got like the beard, the mustache, everything.
Well, it's more like a full beard but like trimmed.
It's super trimmed, yeah.
Yeah, like it's like yeah.
It's like yeah.
Well, you basically said it's super trimmed. It's like right up there on the skin. It's not quite. It's not too lengthy. It's like less than an inch long. Anyways,
let's get past the beard.
Yeah,
the man's super awesome beard.
Yeah, but the beard is what threw me off because he doesn't look quite the same. The show can be violent, yes, at sometimes, but I realize
super violent.
Yeah, I realize there's not a whole lot of actual superhero violence in the show.
Honestly, it's kind of weird for a superhero show to not really show a whole lot of super.
It was just super interesting, super weird, especially in the past.
The very first fight is pretty much the only time you really see them actually like whooping each other's asses and people getting killed. Like in the first fight, with Black Star and like the whole like random Justice League they got going on there.
Yeah,
the Union is what they call it.
Yeah, but like three different superheroes.
3 different dudes like, right off the bat too. It was like the one guy's just standing there smoking a joint. And he's like, I'm not getting involved in this shit.
Yeah,
and then like all of a sudden he's fucking dead. And then one chick's gets decapitated, and the other dude like gets like cut in half,
yeah,
while
something like that.
She's being decapitated. Like he goes for the twofer.
Yeah, definitely 2 for 1.
Yeah, he got the 2 for 1 on that.
Yeah,
definitely unlock achievements there.
But yeah, there's some times in which I can't give it. So I'm gonna say in terms of like how many tentacles. 10,
on the Krackin review board that we discussed before we started this cast, on the story itself. That is a 10. That is what we're giving a perfect score. Is the story, the character,
the quality of the actual production. Like there are parts in which the visual effects are a little, kind of looks like it might be.
When it comes to the show itself, it goes from, as we like to say, Marvel style to YouTube style.
Yeah,
like real quick in some places, and. No matter what, you're always going to get that. Like until we can actually figure out a way to make people really fly without attaching wires.
Well, it's also like the bright color. I get like I keep on thinking about it. It's like the bright colored suits. Like maybe dull back the color a little bit.
Yeah,
but it's not so much that I'm like, oh, I don't want to watch. We're talking about like we're giving it a 9.5 tentacles here. As far as I'm concerned, it's a good freaking show. I love the show. The only the half a tentacle that we don't give it is just because of like. Again,
you can tell. Like it's not
looks like somebody's on a wire a little bit.
It's not something that you can avoid either because again, until you can actually figure out a way to get somebody to fly. Without being attached to a wire or pulley system, it's always going to look like that. You can't do anything.
It's really hard. It's really hard not to do. I mean, like honestly, I'd say Zack Snyder probably did the best job with Superman.
Yeah, but again, you're talking millions and millions and millions of dollars put into it. Like,
$1 million budget. Yeah, this is Netflix budget.
Yeah,
it's not quite the same budget, but.
Take it for what it is, and it is a great show. Again, storyline and character development, relatable situations, all of it. The drama, even the family drama, is very well placed, and that's where this show really does shine. Everything else is like icing on the cake. The fact that it's a superhero show, the fact that it's it's got like the powers and stuff in it. That's just icing on the cake.
Yeah.
The fact that this was a really well written out story and well directed show, like
it's just like I said, it hooks you. And when it hooks you, it just you cannot stop. You can't. You're on it. You're on the ride. You're on the
Jupiter Legacy extravaganza.
Yeah. It's like we're gonna watch this all the way through because it'll entertain you throughout the whole thing. I guarantee you. If you're gonna binge it, or if you're just gonna watch an episode or two every once in a while, I do recommend it 100%.
Yeah, honestly, I will
95%.
I will recommend you sitting your ass down in front of the TV and binging the shit out of this.
Yeah.
Because if you think you're gonna be like, oh, I could probably just watch one episode and put it down and go like outside and do something, probably not what's gonna happen.
I'm gonna say this right now, though. The thing that like really drawed me in the most, though, is the past. Like
Past scenes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It just because it was so weird, and I'm like, I have this theory about it. Like, is it aliens that how they got their powers? It's still unclear. It's still a little unclear.
Oh yeah, no, this is
like,
very unclear
is it
exactly
God?
what the hell happened.
Like
yeah.
we still don't really quite understand how they got their powers, but it does show them how they get their powers.
It does kind of like tell it in the title, Jupiter's Legacy.
Yeah, Jupiter's Legacy.
So you kind of like assume that it's like some sort of alienish thing, but it doesn't actually say too much about it.
It doesn't show in the aliens. It does the thing where like did you ever see that movie was it Contact?
Yeah.
Yeah, where she finally gets there and you know the alien appears as her like husband or something like that.
Yeah, some weird shit like
but
that.
But it's a very similar thing, but like for each person that's involved, because like five guys are the original. Is this five, six?
Six.
Is it six? I thought it was five.
It's Fitz, the kid from the mill, the dude from the Red Cross, Walter, George, Sheldon, and Grace.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so 6.
Yeah, it's always 6 because I mean, like that was one thing that they actually portrayed in the show, and they actually really like kind of like drilled it in there that it's a group of 6 every time.
Yeah, but yeah, when they finally do it, like they just see the person that died because it was all about like their suffering, the things that they've gone through in their life, but they still remained good people.
Like they were able to overcome certain diverse situations. For some people, like again, for George, it was the death of his parents. He was able to keep a humble and positive attitude and try to stay a decent person, even though he had dealt with this tragedy early on. For Fitz, it was his grandma. It was a very inspirational person in his life. So when he lost her, it was a very tragic thing to him. For Grace, it was like her uncle who died in the war like 4 months before the war stopped. And I'm assuming this is like World War I-ish time period or something like that.
Right.
For obviously Walter and Sheldon, it was their father. Like that was a very tragic thing.
Which it was, but the thing about it is like his father had been like tormenting him for fucking.
It was like. Again, it was like a test.
Yeah, it was this.
It was like the first test for him.
whoever was doing this, like aliens, gods.
I think it was a way that they chose the leader of the group. Yeah, it was like they marked one guy, and they showed him, hey, you need to bring these people together, and you need to bring them to this place. And if you can do that and pass the rest of these challenges, the 6 of you all together, then you're deemed worthy.
Yeah,
like that's just kind of like the like
absolutely
synapses I got from it.
Yeah, deemed worthy of receiving these
the other thing
superpowers
is like how it again like it didn't shove this one aspect of this character down our throats. The Red Cross guy, the person he saw when they were giving their powers and all that, the one that was talking to him was this guy that was on a boat with him, and they suggest that their friendship was a little bit more than just friends.
Yeah, it was quick enough that you're just like, okay.
Yeah, again, it was something that they didn't shove down my throat. They were just like, it's possible that this character is gay. And I was like, whatever. Like, cool.
Okay.
Let's see what his powers are.
Yeah, I want to see what his powers are.
Yeah,
I want to see him.
He got like the cool stick, the world stick.
Yeah, that thing was so cool. Yeah. Like, so there's a stick, it only goes based off of the user's command. Apparently,
it's almost like voice registration. Like it only like listens to your
reminded
voice.
Reminded me of Mjolnir a little bit.
Yeah, it is like
It'll
Thor's
come back.
hammer.
Like all he has to do is say home, and it comes right back into his hand. Or if it's in his hand, he's just like Ohio. He just pops up
like
in Ohio.
goes up into Ohio.
I
or
love
some
that.
shit.
I love that fucking.
It's like a weird teleporting stick that only works for him.
Yeah,
But it's weird because again, like the stick belonged to one guy in the past, but
That's
he's
for
saying that another one of them, which was his dad, gave it to him. So
Yeah.
how did he get this stick? And where is the guy who originally owned it? Because again, I don't know if it's that dude that's in the black.
yeah.
Like again, the characters
Sky
like
Fox.
no. The dude that was in the black that was helping him do the autopsy on the dude that got his face punched in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But either way, it's not him. It's Sky Fox's son that has the
has the stick now.
Yeah.
But again, Sky Fox wasn't the original owner.
Right.
So it's like very.
It's like, how did you get that stick?
Yeah.
It's definitely saying like, oh hey, guess what? You aren't going to find out until you watch season two.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things like that. It was like carrying over.
They definitely set up for another season, and I'm
invested. I'm like,
this show came out today, so we have a year.
It came out today.
It literally came out today.
Oh wow, we
top,
watched the whole thing.
We're top dog on this review right now. That's awesome because nobody else has reviewed this shit.
Wow. As far as we know, there might be somebody who's like
somebody's in the making right now, but guess what? Their video is not going to be out fast enough.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Awesome. Definitely a good watch. Again, Jupiter's Legacy. It's out on Netflix. Came out today. Give it a watch. Weekend's coming up. Nothing better to do, especially because we're all still stuck inside for another month. So stay safe. Stay classy. As always, hope to catch you guys on the next review. This is Dex.
This is Jax. Signing out.
We are out.